Okay. That question is so important that I ask that question on almost every radio show that I've been on for the past 10 years, which is a lot of radio shows. And I get you, every woman in this room will be very happy to hear the answer to this. I get about 10 about 10 men calling me saying that they would love to be able to be supported by a woman, and they'd be happy to be fully involved with the children, do the cooking, do the cleaning, or if there's enough money, hire the cleaning to be done, figure out where she's moving to, move where the job requires her to move to, for each woman who calls in saying, I'm very open to supporting a man economically who works out of the home, who may or may not raise money, but who takes care of all the things that traditional women do. As of this point in history, it's very clear to me that actually men are more willing to make that adaptation than women are. Women get a great deal of pressure when they start going out with men who earn less. They get pressure from their parents, they get pressure from women friends, they get pressure from the stuff inside of themselves that says, am I valuing myself too little? But the big caveat with men is this. A man will not feel comfortable doing that if he's picking up body language from the woman that suggests that she really does not respect him for doing that. Men are prisoners of female approval and respect. If women said we want men to go around walking on their hands, men would begin to have contests about walking on their hands. And then they start jumping on one hand to show that they're better than the men that walked on one hand. And they have marathons for how far they could walk. So that one of the things I find out that is true about men is if a woman says, sweetie, I really value what you contribute to your children, but at the next party, that man notices that his wife is eyeing a man who's a Nobel Prize winner or a CEO or very high achieving, and her eyes are sort of dilating in ways that suggest that she's interested in him, he begins to become insecure. And the woman says, it's not that I want a successful man, I just don't want an insecure man like my husband. And the whole cycle starts and it deteriorates. So a lot of, if a woman is interested in choosing a man like that, a lot of internal work needs to be done about, am I really okay with that? Now, men have the same problem in reverse. A man can say to a woman, but it's not on this issue. I can say to a man says to me, you know, Warren, I want a woman who's warm and tender and loving and caring and has a good sense of humor and is fair and is kind, and I just can't find a woman out there like that. And I say, oh, I have a woman who's exactly like that. She does happen to be 300 pounds and 75 years of age. And he suddenly goes, well, like, wasn't quite thinking of that. So men's Achilles heel is in the beauty and the youth area, just like women's Achilles heel is in that type of selection in that area. Does that all make sense? So, if it doesn't, just challenge me. Okay, great. Okay, fine. Anybody else have any thoughts? Yes, right in the back. Say your name, and can you stand up, please?
My name is Shauna Gamache, and
is it Sean?
That's Shauna.
Shauna, right.
I'm just curious, as someone who's maybe of the younger generation here,
Mm-hmm.
And
not an old person like me.
No, yeah. And as someone whose husband's actually already moved 3 times for me for work, I'm just curious what kind of changes you are seeing with the younger generation, where you see this trend going with, you know, the emergence of such factors as the sensitive man, and also the opening of these fields that you're talking about, like everything from the Marines to the financial sector for women,
yes.
Where you see this going.
Yes. Well, yes, first of all, anybody else have any thoughts? Many of you are younger than I am, and so what are your experiences with people your age? Another old man, David. Say it. I know you, David, so I know your first name is David.
David Levy, yeah. Well, Warren, you've been on the cutting edge of this now for a number of years. In relation to what the woman just said, Shauna, do you feel you are making a dent, or are these ideas making a dent, and if so, how much, and is there any chance for any general acceptance of these unusual ideas, but accepted by many people who understand you and what you're saying?
Yes, well, thank you. Anybody else on whether things are changing for younger people? And I will be happy to, yes, Peter?
I've had about 5 careers, and I've lived in, I think it's 5 or 6 careers.
Microphone, please.
Peter, you take the microphone.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm 65. I've had about 5 careers. I've lost count. including army, research, university, and stuff like that. And I've lived in 4 continents, and we're being globalized, and this is happening. And what people need to do is start from a young age making choices, both men and women, and have the courage to make a choice and make a decision. That's just one thing on that personal side.
Thank
I
you,
wish
Peter.
your book might have been called maybe The Paradox. I'd have liked that. Maybe call it
The pay paradox?
Yeah, The Pay Paradox.
That was the first name of the book.
Yeah, right. We call it Why Men Earn More. That's the other thing. I mean, we are men. We're stuck in these careers, or were stuck in these careers for 30 years, because we thought we had to earn more money.
Yes.
But, you know, every single man just has to make a choice and, you know, put his life first, which is what women apparently do.
Yes. Good. Thank you, Peter. Okay, Shauna, the good news and the bad news. Okay? The things that I see changing are clearly women are far more desirous of making money. Women are clearly saying and understanding that they need to take responsibility for the possibility that they are going to be earning their own income. That's what's changing. That's wonderful, and that's good. What is not changing and is creating some deeper problems than almost anyone has looked at. What is not changing is that when women marry, and I ask women, let's check this out here in the audience to make sure I'm right about this. I ask you to close, everybody here, just close your eyes for a moment and visualize your wedding day. If you're from California, you can choose any number of your wedding days. If you've had more than one wedding, just choose, maybe choose your first marriage. And imagine your spouse on your wedding day. Now imagine me coming up to you and saying, tell me what's right, what's true for you. Do you believe that your husband or your wife will earn consistently more than you during your lifetime together? Do you believe and this is the belief you had on your wedding day. Makes no difference what actually happened, but the belief on your wedding day was your best prediction that your spouse-to-be would earn more or less than you during your years together. I ask you to open your eyes. If you're women and you have been married, raise your hand about whether you believed on your wedding day that your partner would probably make as much or more than you. Raise your hand if you believed on your wedding day that your partner would earn less than you. Okay? So about 85% of the people have been married. Men, raise your hand if you believed that you would earn more, as much or more than your wife on your wedding day. Raise your hand if you believed you would earn less than your wife on your wedding day. So, yes, so, only 2 men in the room believe that they would earn less than their wife. So that part, Shauna, has not changed very much. The problem that creates is that we have women earning more and more, but oftentimes marrying men who are not earning as much or are expected to earn as much, but in fact do not end up earning as much, and then there is a real problem that occurs. Usually the woman who expects the man to be earning more, who ends up becoming downsized while she becomes upsized, starts becoming dissatisfied internally, and that tends to lead to divorces. And so we've changed the society without changing the expectations of women or men about who is eligible for love. We have a lot of women. If we ask that question slightly differently, we get a very different answer. If I said, how many women have men friends or are living with men who are earning less, you'd see a large number of female hands go up. How many women are currently living with or are friends with men who are earning less? A much higher percentage of female hands go up. But when it comes to marriage, those women don't usually get married to those men unless they believe the men will be earning as much or more. So in those types of cohabitation or boyfriend-girlfriend relationships, there's a break-off, and men know, therefore, there will be, so the message to men is, there will be no love unless there's what? Money. There'll be no love unless there's money. And as long as